This is the story of a small boy whose bravery didn't just protect his mother. It changed the thief into an honest man with the help of a fearless police officer. Once upon a time, in the state of California in the United States, there was a small town called Woodland. Right next to this town was a dense forest filled with tall trees, thick bushes, and the sound of wild animals. People said that the forest seemed peaceful during the day, but as evening fell, a strange silence would take over. At the edge of the forest lived Mrs. Ellison Thompson, a woman around 50 years old. Her eyes always reflected love and kindness. She lived with her only son, 7-year-old Tommy. Tommy was small and thin, but very brave at heart. After his father's death, Ellison had been raising him alone. Their life was simple, yet full of warmth. One evening, as the sun began to set behind the forest, Ellison said, "Son, let's go to the market today. We don't have anything at home. We'll buy chicken, bread, milk, and some vegetables." Tommy jumped with excitement. They left the house and walked along the road by the forest until they reached the town market. The market was lively. Ellison bought everything they needed: fresh chicken, milk, bread, fruits, and some snacks. The bag became quite heavy. On their way back, they took the same forest road. It was quiet. Only the rustling of trees and distant bird sounds could be heard. Tommy held his mother's hand tightly. Suddenly, 4 men emerged from the dense part of the forest and blocked their way. "Stop right there," growled their leader. The leader was a large, rough-looking man named Big Mike. He had a tall build, broken teeth, a dirty shirt, and a dangerous glint in his eyes. His 3 companions looked like criminals too. "Hand over everything you have. Give us the bag, or else—" Ellison was terrified. Tommy's small body trembled, but he stepped in front of his mother. "No, this is ours. Go away," Tommy shouted in his tiny voice. Big Mike laughed. "Look at this little lion." He shoved Tommy, who fell to the ground but quickly got back up and fought again. He kicked Big Mike's leg. The men began beating him. Punches, kicks. Tommy cried, but he didn't give up. Ellison screamed, "Leave my child. Someone help us." But the forest echoed her cries. No one came. The men took everything, the chicken, bread, milk, all of it, and disappeared into the forest, laughing. Tommy's face was covered in blood. Ellison sat on the roadside, holding him and crying. Just then, a police car appeared on the road. Inside was Officer Jack Harper, an honest and strict police officer. He was on routine patrol. Hearing the screams, he stopped the car. "Ma'am, what happened?" he asked. Ellison, sobbing, told him everything. Tommy was still trembling in her arms. Officer Jack's face hardened. "Don't worry, I'll go after them right now." He alerted his team on the radio and rushed into the forest. On the winding forest road, the criminals were running. Big Mike was carrying the stolen bags. Suddenly, they heard the police siren behind them. Officer Jack sped up. After a brief struggle, he managed to overpower Big Mike and his companions. He handcuffed them and took them to the police station. It was night by the time he returned. Ellison and Tommy were still sitting by the roadside. "Come with me," Officer Jack said. "You can confront them yourselves." Ellison was scared, but Tommy said, "Mom, let's go. I'm not afraid." At the station, they stood in front of the jail cell. Inside, Big Mike and his men sat quietly. When Big Mike looked up and saw Tommy's injured face, his eyes filled with tears. Ellison said in a trembling voice, "If they stay alive, they'll hurt us again. They deserve punishment." Big Mike broke down crying. "Ma'am, please forgive me. I made a terrible mistake. I wasn't always like this. Addiction and poverty ruined me. My 6-year-old son is very sick. He's in the hospital. The doctors say he needs an operation, but I had no money. I thought I could sell your things, but what I did was wrong. I even hurt a child. God should never forgive me." His companions stood silently, heads lowered. Ellison looked at Tommy, who held her hand tightly. Her heart softened. "Listen, Mike, I forgive you, but you must promise that you will never rob anyone again. Work honestly for your child." Big Mike cried even harder. "You've given me a new life. I promise I will change." Officer Jack smiled. "Ma'am, you have a big heart. I'll try to get their punishment reduced, but the law will take its course. That night, Ellison and Tommy returned home. The forest was calm again. The next day, Officer Jack came to their house with food and medicines. In jail, Big Mike began to change. He was determined to earn money for his son the right way. A few months later, when he was released, he was a different man. He got a job at a small wood factory near the forest. His son received treatment and recovered. Later, Big Mike met Ellison and Tommy again. Tommy hugged him warmly. The forest was no longer just a forest of trees. It had become a forest of forgiveness and hope. And so, a brave little boy, a loving mother, and a courageous police officer changed the life of a criminal. Now, every evening, Ellison and Tommy walk near the forest, and sometimes Big Mike walks with them too.